Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Jay, and this is Football Talk. And in this one, your boy will be reacting to EA officially announced College Football 26. Oh man, I cannot wait to hop into this. No more talking. We're gonna jump right into it. Shout out to Eric Weather once again for this one.
EA Sports just officially announced College Football 26. Now, most of us figured that this game would be coming out. It was never an official statement, but just based on how well College Football 25 did and just knowing that most sports games are going to be
Wasn't
yearly
like
games
one
outside
like
of like
the
certain
best
ones like golf and
selling
things like that, we
like
pretty much
games or
knew
some
that College Football 26 would
sports
be coming
game
out,
or
but there
something
was,
like
I guess,
that?
always a slight chance that it could be a game that came out every other year. But that's no more. We know officially today, as the EA Sports College Twitter account said this a little bit ago. We said this place will be full again. Thanks to our players, athletes, and fans for filling the house with us. Let's keep that kickoff energy going till College Ball 26 drops this summer with a winking face. Now, that in itself isn't the
Okay.
biggest news in the world. Yes, it's good to officially know that it is coming and that it is
Yeah,
going to be out this summer, which now, I mean, it's just a few months away. Time's starting to kind of pick up.
that
But
is
College Ball 25 is
crazy.
still really good, and a lot of people are still playing it. It is one of the best selling games of the year. I think it's the best selling sports game of all time, potentially. I think they said that a few months
I
back.
mean,
So, I mean, this game
which
is still going
is
strong. A
just
lot of people are still
amazing
playing it.
to
I'm still
see.
playing it. And I think this is the best sports game, in my opinion, in at least the past few years, maybe the past decade, maybe since the last NCAA game, which was NCAA 14. So it's good that they're going to be building on this, but I think it's time to talk about what are some things that maybe we can expect in college football 26, because as good as 25 was, if we're all honest, there's definitely things that are missing that maybe we expected, or there's
Yeah,
definitely some things that
that's
can make
true.
better. There's definitely potential to add tons of things to this game.
It'd
And I
be
even
cool to
asked that on
see
my
what
Twitter.
new
I,
things
I
they will
posted
put
and I
in.
said a few things that I think could be in the game, but I said, what do you want to see in the game? And I'm seeing a lot of the same things, both on my account and on the official college football Twitter account. But I think there's some things that are kind of more certain than not. And so I want to talk about those.
When it comes to bagging great prices on the brands they both love, one trip to
Also, for those that have been asking about other updates for College Football 25, I'm not sure that we're going to see any more official updates for College Football 25. It's been over a month since we've kind of had an official update. I think they're kind of done updating the game, and I think Madden is kind of on its last update or two as well, and that game came out a month after College Football. So I think the updates are probably done for this year. At most, we'd maybe see one more that would be small, but they're
Yeah,
definitely kind of
I was
all in
about to say
now
maybe
on
some
finishing up
might be some
26,
bug
because this is the
fixes
time of
for like
year
if
where
there's
they're
another
kind
one.
of going full force. Like, the first few months they're planning and they're implementing some things, but now they're in that mode where, from January to April, May, they're really kind of in that grind mode to really try to get the features in the game, get them working properly, while also addressing and fixing some issues that we still have with the previous game. Now, what are some things that we're likely going to see, or what are some things that people want to see in 26? Well, one of the big things is high school and Road to Glory. I think that's one of the more obvious ones. There's been no
Yeah,
official like rumor or anything to
I
suggest that
definitely
that would
remember
happen,
people
but
complaining
we do
about
know
that
that that
one
was one of the bigger
about no
complaints
high
about
school.
25s, that they did not have the high school portion of Road to Glory. It seems like one of those things that is kind of worth adding, that would please a lot of people, because there are a big group of people that just strictly play Road to Glory, and kind of without that high school.
And with the high school thing, like I remember when it was like first like announced that it was not going to be like an actual high school thing in it. And I didn't really see too many people complain about it. But then over like maybe what a couple weeks after the game came out, I just start seeing people all over Twitter, Instagram, all that in the comment section talking about where's a high school? Where's a high school? We can't play high school? What are you talking? But then again, I saw people complaining in Madden and others that why is a high school in here? Nobody wants to play it. So it's like which do you want? You know what I mean? So but that would
Portion
be
that just
nice to
feels
see
very
though,
incomplete for them.
me
So I
personally.
think that's like one of the more obvious things that they could and should be adding to the game. from things that I've heard behind the scenes, nothing too concrete on it, but I just really think that makes sense. I know that, when they were revealing 25 last year, a lot of people asked about that, and they did kind of hint that, was kind of on the radar. So I do think we'll probably be seeing that in this game, and potentially also some more positions being unlocked for Road to Glory, maybe being an edge rusher or a safety, things like that, because it's still only 5 positions, which also makes it feel a bit incomplete. Now, really quickly, I want to let you know about today's video sponsor, Underdog. Did you know that you can win up to 1,000 times your money by just simply picking higher or lower? Can get Josh Allen to get a single yard. And no matter when you sign up, there's going to always be a free play just like this that you can take advantage of. Cash on your first deposit, and you just can't beat that. Now, some other things that people want to see and some things that I think we will be seeing are potentially things like FCS teams added to the game. Now, the only thing with this is that we do know in terms of the regular teams that are already in the game, there's still more work to kind of be done with those teams. So the only reason I think we maybe wouldn't see FCS teams this year,
up to the schools.
Maybe they'll be coming in like an update after the game's release potentially, is because they do still have to do some more things with the current teams that are there. For example, there's only 50 mascots in the game, so we know they're going to definitely be adding more mascots.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing them talk about that they were going to add some more mascots.
I would think that we're going to get 30 to 50 more of them at least in the game. There's also, certain teams that need their pregame reworked because they had a few things wrong, or certain teams still have more of a generic pregame walkout and they can add some more specifics to some of the smaller and middle tier schools.
There's so many schools, though. You're never going to get it 100% right.
So will we see FCS teams? It's definitely a possibility, but I do think they still have a lot to iron out with the teams that exist. So that could maybe push FCS teams back into like an update or potentially the following year's game. But it definitely is something that I think is on the radar and something they said already that it is something they want to get in the game. So it just matter of is it going to be this year or maybe a following year. Real coaches, we have heard, is likely to be in the game at least to some capacity. We don't know if they're going to get every coach. I doubt it.
I like that. I've always liked seeing real coaches in the game.
Going to college football, I mean, it'd be pretty cool if he was in the game. Dion, if he stays and he doesn't go to,
because he was never in Madden, right? Yeah, he was never. So imagine the first time we see Bill Belichick is in a college football game, because obviously he is the North Carolina coach. I think that was a great pickup. Me personally, your boy is from North Carolina. If you guys do not know, but seeing the coaches on the field, oh my goodness, that would just add so much more realistic, like realism to it. I would love to see that.
Dallas, get him in the game, some of those other guys like Lane Kiffin and just, some of the other big name guys, right? I think real coaches is something we're going to see to some capacity.
Ryan Day,
based on leaks and things
come on,
the
Penn State head
some
coach.
Other like quality of life improvements that we could be seeing for, Dynasty mode and other modes.
Prayers
like
to him and his,
that's one of the biggest
his
requests
family,
from the Dynasty crowd. So I do think we're going to see that because to my knowledge, they were trying to get that into the game in an update this year. And that's kind of one of the few things that they were trying to get in that never actually came through. So I would assume that should be very high on the priority list for 26. So I do
college
think
football have a like
subs.
coaching committee, kind of like how the NFL does.
Is things like historical stat tracking and being able to check some of the past season stats. Also, a trophy room where you can keep, track of all of your trophies and things like that. So I do think those are things that are going to be high on the list that they're probably going to be doing for 26. And I believe in a leak, they even were saying specific things like on player cards, for example, that they would be showing past awards that players have won. So if you won the Heisman with like a freshman QB, well, when you pull up his player card, it would have like a Heisman trophy in there. Or like,
that
whatever.
would be
if a
fire.
Won the Bolitnikov or whatever the case may be. So I do think we're going to be seeing things like that just based off some of the leaks that we have heard. I would also like to see more NIL implementation because that is something that they said at the beginning of 25 that, there was very little NIL.
Yeah, with the NIL thing, it's so tricky. I'm still lost on it.
They said it was too kind of early in the NIL stage, especially when they were making the game. And they said like it was constantly changing. There was always like new rules being passed. And it's kind of still very early. And we don't know how
I was just about to say that. It's the exact same thing.
A lot of time
it might be even worse now.
The system in a game that would heavily feature NIL and then it would be maybe obsolete in a year or two and it would just kind of all have been just for 1 year or something and they would have to completely redo it. So they wanted to kind of wait and see until the NIL kind of got ironed out a little bit more. And I mean, honestly, we're still very early there, but I think we could see at least some more NIL implementation maybe as it pertains to recruiting a little bit because I mean, as we're seeing, it's playing a big factor in both, people returning to school or, recruits flipping. Like for my team, team, LSU, the QB Bryce Underwood, he flipped and went to Michigan because they paid him a boatload of money.
Yep, I saw that one.
So I think at least in
Speaking of NIL, the craziest one I've seen in recent memory is Carson Beck. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was on Instagram. He is getting paid more than the most of the rookie quarterbacks. That is crazy. Over what was it? What was it like 300 million or something like that to go to Miami? Jeez. Oh, I'm put my pads on. Damn.
terms of recruiting,
Carson
it'd be
Beck
good to
getting
see some
that
stuff like
much
that. We did
shit.
also get some leaks about potential recruiting changes some months back that I made a video
I mean,
on, and they
he
were
good,
saying,
but
things
damn.
like dynamic deal breakers. Basically, your players that have deal breakers, those things could change. So a guy could just want playing time, and then as he gets better, a couple years into his career, he may change his deal breaker to wanting to win a national championship. So now if he's on a mid-tier school that just doesn't really have as good of a chance to win a natty, he might want to go to one of those bigger teams in like the SEC or the Big Ten or something like that and try to compete for a natty. So that's something I think we can expect. We know they're going to constantly change recruiting. I mean, that is the lifeblood of Dynasty Mode, which is the lifeblood of the entire game. So recruiting is going to constantly be having new things with it. We saw them tweak it in multiple updates this year, but they're definitely going to add at least something there, something dynamic, something to make it difficult, something to just change it up, because as time has gone on, we know how to kind of game the recruiting system. So they're definitely going to be making changes there. That kind of goes without saying. Also, another thing I want to touch on here as it pertains to Dynasty is probably crossplay, because that was something that we were hoping would come in an update and it never came. We do have crossplay in other areas of the game, so
Didn't they talk
crossplay for
about that might
Dynasty,
be
I
in
think
a
it would be
be
very
an update or
difficult for
something
them
like
to
that?
come out with College Ball 26 and not have crossplay in Dynasty. I think there would be a good amount of backlash if they didn't do that. So I do think that's something else that would be pretty reasonable to
Yeah, it
expect, because
probably
I
will
think
be
they know that
in
it would be kind of
26
hard to come out with another iteration of the game and not
crossplay
have that, especially since Madden has
thing.
had crossplay for a couple years now in their franchise mode. So I
What
do
is
think
it?
that is
3
something we should be
years?
expecting as
2
well. But there's
years?
definitely tons of
2
other
or 3
things,
years I
new
think Madden's
equipment,
had it.
more editing, more things for Team Builder. Like there's tons of other little things that'll probably get added, more plays, obviously
Oh,
way more
Team Builder.
uniforms and
I
historical
got a
uniforms will
good
be
feeling they're
added as
gonna
well.
build
So
on
there's
that,
gonna be a
like
lot of little
expand
stuff,
that
maybe
more.
presentation things. We're gonna know more in the months to come. So make sure you
Oh,
subscribe with the
presentation's
bell
gonna
icon
be
on so
off
you
the
don't miss
charts.
any
I mean,
of
you
those
saw,
videos when we get
25
leaks
when
or
that came
news.
out.
And if you want to know the
Jesus.
exact specific leaks that we have heard so
Okay. So I did not see that the official Twitter account like confirmed that it was gonna be a 26. I mean, everybody knew it. Well, you kind of knew it, but it's nice to be able to get confirmation from the actual company. But things that I want to see in the new one, I don't know. I mean, high school would be nice. Coaches, for me, that's one of my biggest ones is seeing like coaches on the sideline, like not just head coaches, like offensive coordinators and defense. Like I would love to see like a shot of like the offensive coordinator up in the booth and like seeing him cheer for like if you score a touchdown, he's going crazy, or like if there's a bad play, you throw a pick, like he's just like throwing his papers down. Like I would love to see like more emotions on the sideline. I think that would be cool to see. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this reaction. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next.